Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D with the $1 bill from the United States of America, the star notes. And you can tell it's a star note because it has a star next to the serial number, star next to each of the serial numbers that are on the front. So what's going on here? Well, this is the United States of America $1 bill, paper dollar. And you see it says Federal Reserve note at the top, and these are printed at the Federal Reserves for the different sections of the United States. This one is an A. That means that it comes from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, Massachusetts, and not actually printed at the facility necessarily, but they are distributed by that facility. So you'll see that we have other letters as we go along, and I'll show you where they are. Now, when you look at these, this is an old dollar bill, and I'll show you how you can tell it's an older one. Well, a couple reasons. First off, we blow it up right here, and we see this says Series 1995. So we know that the Series 1995 didn't end in 1995, but we know that's probably about 20 years old or more. It won't be from before 1995, but it certainly can come from 5 to 7 years after in most cases. In the center, we have George Washington, who's right here. And if we really magnify this up, you see what the detail is. This is printed almost like one of those dot printers where you can kind of go across. And you notice that you can actually see the ink kind of seeping through in certain places and all these different things. And you see this little thing here. This is made of a paper that I believe has Egyptian cotton threads in it, different colored threads, and you can see them here and there. They make it that way because this is a special kind of paper that only one manufacturer in the world is allowed to make as far as we're concerned, and I believe that's a manufacturer that makes the paper in Massachusetts, oddly enough. Down in the bottom here, you'll see on the left side, you'll see a signature, and that's going to be for the Treasurer of the United States, whoever was Treasurer at the time of this bill was issued. And then on this side, you'll see that there is the Secretary of Treasury, which is the White House secretarial level position, who runs all the money. And the Secretary of the Treasury essentially is the person who's managing the printing and coinage of the Treasury. You notice up here it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. That's going to be on the notes. And then we see that there's a 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and a 1 here. And they're all kind of stylized ones. This is really just to keep people from counterfeiting them. So we have all these stylized things on here that are really hard to reprint or reproduce. Or they used to be until our copiers got to be just incredibly good. Over here we see another one. See the O-N-E behind there? And there's the seal of the Department of Treasury, which first started in 1789. And you can see the 1 here, the 1 here, the 1 here, the 1 here, and then there's the B3 and a B173, and that has to do with printing numbers. You see it has a edge around the outside of the whole thing, and when we get to the back, you see that it's flipped the other way. So, what do we got here? The United States of America. Here's a number 1 with ONE1 on it in each corner. Here is another number, the 336 right here. There's another 1 in the center. It says, "In God We Trust" at the top. Over here we have the Great Seal with the pyramid and the eye. On this side we have the presidential or the United States seal. It's very similar to the presidential seal. It says E pluribus here, unum here. And guess how many stars there are here? 13. It's a shielded eagle holding arrows in its left claws, olive branch in its right, and you can see kind of the tail feathers come down here, and you can see that it says, right here it says, of the United States. So, now some of you know that bills generally have these kind of lines in them now to kind of make sure that nobody redoes them. They put kind of a plastic line in there. This is not one of those, and I'll show you when we turn this off. See, you don't see any lines here because this is before they actually inserted the kind of plastic or metallic strip in there. The security strip does not have it on this one. But this is one of the ways that they used to be able to tell. You flip the coin, the dollar bill over, and you see where everything lines up on here, and you can tell that that the front and back are correct when you do that. Now, these star bills, they make them in a lot of different places, and they've made them for a lot of years. So here's the 1995 series, 1995, you see here. Here's another series, 1995, but you notice over here now there's an F, and that's for Atlanta, Georgia. The one on the front here, these ones are for the Federal Reserve number. The first one is a for Boston. The sixth one is F, and notice that actually F is the sixth letter of the alphabet, so there you go. And then you see there's a star behind each of these, and then it says 07861406. This is the actual number of the notes that they made. Why do they make replacement notes? Because when you print anything, sometimes you mess it up, you cut it wrong, whatever. They have to account for every single one that they mess up and cut wrong and print a new one. So that's the F from 1995. Here's another one, but this one's from 1993. And we see this is a G for Chicago, Illinois. Pretty much the same thing. Here's another one from 1993. That's a K for Dallas, Texas. And here's one that's a C for Philadelphia, but guess what? This is the 1963A. So Henry Fowler was the Secretary of the Treasury in 1963. And we notice this, there looks like a line there, but there's not. That's just a fold. This is kind of an old, not too expensive note, but it is more expensive. And then finally, they have them for the other denominations too. Sometimes you'll find a 20, or Big D found 100 once with a star note on it. And so notice that this is a $5 bill with a star note on it. And I want to show you one other thing on here besides that, and that is, this is one of the, because this is Series 1995, they had already changed the $5 bills and put the security strips in them. So let me show you. You can actually see this security strip over here. See how it says 5, then USA, 5 backwards, USA, and so that's what the security strips are in the newer bills, right there. All right, well that's all we have today from Big D Coins and paper money apparently, and we'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.